All right, good morning. Today is Tuesday, the second day of a 5-day week, August 13th. We'll look and see what we have on the docket today as far as the earnings, which the primary was Home Depot. I'll actually just tell you that right now. I'm gonna pull up another browser over here. We'll go ahead and just take a quick peek at that. We have just a quick recap of where we were yesterday. Again, we ended up about even. You can look at last night's recap video, but primarily we want to keep an eye on tech, keep an eye on consumer staples, financials, and healthcare, in my opinion. Today we are on the lookout for the economic report, which will be the 5:30. The 5:30 we have our PPIs. And we've already had our reaction there. And then as far as the earnings, we have the Home Depot, which is the primary that we're looking at, which should be for a big component of the Dow Jones for sure. And then for the quote that we have is of the Dalai Lama: if you want others to be happy, practice compassion. If you want to be happy, practice compassion. All right. Take a quick look at where we're at. I'm going to pull up Notion actually. So I was working on my trading plan. We'll do that later. I was working on my trading plan last night. Something I'm going to have submitted very soon. We have our timer here at the bottom. We have about 20 minutes until the RTH open. We're about 1 second behind, but it's not anything worth fiddling over. I'm just pulling up my pre-market routines here. I'll actually show you this here because I think this is just as important. We'll let the DOM kind of play and do its thing. But I have here, these are just like my, just a section that I'm creating for particular thoughts, different concepts for the market. This would be part of my plan here. So I'm just going to go over this relatively quickly. I'm just going to have this on another screen so we can see what's happening. I do want this to be my replay because I'm not paying $50 to have Jigsaw. I'm sorry, to have Tradeovate's data for the market replay for Jigsaw. It's basically $50. It actually may be 60, but I have to double check the price. Um, I thought there may have been a price increase. So for the most part, I record this manually, and then I can just refer back to it in the future. And I do have price walk turned off today. We'll leave it there for now. So looking at our pre-market routine, we're going to wrap through this fairly quickly. We have already been through the what's on the docket as far as a potential catalyst perspective. I'm going to go ahead and check CT News quickly and see if we have anything glaring from overseas, any geopolitical events. I'm just flipping through the news here, some more Iran information. Of course, we had our Home Depot. We got a couple strikes for a copper mine in Chile. Some information about oil. I'm not going to look too much into this. More tensions with Israel. Not Israel, but Ukraine and Russia. I'm going to go ahead and turn this down for the. I'm just seeing what was going on there. No, I'm not. I'm gonna go ahead and calm down there. Whatever happens, happens. So I was looking at possibly getting executions ready, but again, this is just as important as looking at the DOM, as we were talking about yesterday with our creating a trade plan. Our goal now isn't to specifically take the opportunities that we're seeing, but use our playbook and our pre-calculated posture types and have a response to what the MGI is telling us in real time, opposed to calculating this information in real time and trying to find an opportunity from this, if this does make sense. But this is a conversation we'll have a little later on when we have some time, because this is about the pre-market prep. So we'll go through this quickly because we can. We've done this enough. All right. So from a quick glance overnight, from a quick glance, is this a bullish or bearish overnight session? Looks like we're trading above the prior day's range. Same situation for the NQ. So I mean, I say this is still more balanced, but definitely skewed to the upside. Where does the market opening from? Opening from a higher balance, middle balance kind of range yesterday. Very choppy, very light volume. So nothing too special there. So more compression. Though do remember that this is a lower volume kind of day. I'm gonna go I'm gonna go ahead and show them while I'm getting ready to turn this down because I can still hear it. And this needs to be on my monitor. All right, my apologies. What did the market try to accomplish? Trade above the prior day's range to make a new high. Let's double check and see if, yeah, there's a lot going on. I'm actually going to, yeah, I'm just going to leave that there. Ah, yeah. So we did trade above the range. I'm sorry. I thought this was the high yesterday. So yeah, we traded above the range. Definitely much more bullish on the NQ's portion, and we bounced off the prior day's IB high. So it's definitely important. We've been saying that NQs have very bullish undertones or much more sturdier bullish price action and posture over the past since the big gap down from Sunday. So it's a possibility that NQ has overextended itself to the downside, but definitely seeing nice leadership, relatively speaking, in the shorter time frame. Were there any surprises? I'll say the bit of a sell-off that we had and the nice recovery from NQ and nice-ish recovery from the ES. How do we finish? We're still trading above. We're trading above the current day's range as of right now, which is very bullish. Is there any zones that we'll need to create? We can do that a little later on, but we definitely want our SOC. Sorry about that. I prefer to look at the market through the lens of a quote unquote somewhat important data point. Of course, it depends on how the what the market expectations is, and how they respond. But I probably need to not make that one, so I won't have that problem. Sorry about that. Yeah, I'll do that a little later on. Sorry, I'm working on a way just to stop having that show up. I know it's gonna do it. Put this on the other screen. So we can just do mute all alert sounds for now. All right, so we have the close, we have the open and then the close. Actually, you know what? I shouldn't yeah, my apologies. So in my head, let me not be quiet. So in my head, I'm working on a way to show this information just to see where this candle structure is, because I'm going to be looking potentially to speculate around this area just so that I have some kind of structure for me. It may not be necessarily extremely relevant at all times for other participants, but it is important for me to have some sort of structure or a line just to know where I'm at so I'm not getting lost. It's very easy for me to lose the force for the trees. So building this structure in a place here does help me see. So that way when I drop this overnight session, we can see a good idea of where we're at. Time check, we have about 10 minutes. So we have an understanding of where we're coming from, what we're trying to accomplish, which is to build more volume above and hold. Continue one time framing ideally. It would be ideal for the Bulls to defend the overnight low area, just in general. If they can defend that, I believe this would be discontinued balancing with an eventual short squeeze. But we'll get there. If that happens, we'll see. We don't want to be overly bullish or overly bearish. Because do remember, just to follow the consistency on the shorter time frame, we are indeed bullish, given this bull flag. In the immediate time frame, we are bearish, given the multi-week sell-off and extreme push through support. But on the macro time frame, the higher time frame, we are still bullish, and that's something that we cannot forget because this could be a higher low in the making with an attempt to push an attempt for more excursion upwards. It's important to know that we're finally out of this zone and we're trading above it, although on lighter volume, relatively speaking, and we're well above this area for the NQ minimal downside. Again, just a bit bullish overall, possibly targeting this nice area here. It should be the last week of July. So we're going to make a note of that. And again, I like having extremely do July's in balance. Just a quick, just creating a price map for myself. Again, we have 8 minutes until the market is open. We have some sellers up here. So I'm not trying to like scalp or anything. But ideally, I would like to have you have like a stop like right at the 40s here, and then you can like hit out quickly or have like a little random ass trailer, just a real tight trailer there. I'm just curious to see how much excursion we get above there. Do remember that we are just breaking through this SOC zone. Again, this is why I like having this here. So that was through the SOC high, but we'll look more deeper shortly. So we finish our notes on our overnight session. The SOC notes. Was there a relatively sizable reaction? Relatively speaking, for now, a 20-point candle in this low environment, absolutely. That would be considered a something nice to work with in a low vol environment. But if you're living in the past of last week, that would be a typical size of like maybe one candle. At least that's what it felt like, or I mean that's what it was for the most part. I digress. So we've already charted it. We will look at our plays. We have specific plays. I'll go ahead and pull this up as well. I think this is just as important as looking at the DOM or doing our prep work, understanding what we're trying to accomplish today and aligning with our trading plan, our trading goals, our trading objectives for this quarter until the end of September. We really need to be on the lookout for particular plays. I have this is my playbook here for the SOC types, and I have them grouped by the way it's setting up. So, for instance, here, I'll just go to the ones that are ready. Yeah, I just want to find one here. So, very it should be relatively simple, but you have like a impulse candle, a green impulse candle. You want to be able to pull back somewhere from around that 50, and then just have a nice excursion above. Whether you have a break of the IB high and you continue with the quick pullback at that IB high, because you would imagine that you're going to have some more excursion because there will be stops above that extreme. Same situation to the downside. So that's possibly like what we're looking for now. But if we take a quick look at this, we're starting to build volume inside of this candle, and we actually do have some references for that as well when we're building through the volume, which I believe is the third, or is it which one is it? So that having a look at this, so that would be six, and I have them labeled, so it's just a little easier to locate them. So if we find some situations that look similar, they look maybe something similar to this today. This is at 7 o'clock. Maybe chop a little bit sideways, two-way trade, maybe find our way upwards, break through, and then retest near that zone. Basically, the same situation we were talking about, but just understanding that this can possibly two-way trade on the ES. Or if we're like maybe leaking to the downside, I just have like several examples. Same situation where you break lower and you do the retest on a near reference point. Same situation here with potential continuation. The majority of these are all going to be this trade I was talking about. So you'll have like a couple points. You have some buyers down here, but this is going to collapse. But I mean, this would just be like a 5 point stop. So I mean, if you get something cool, if not, then you're out. It's fine. We're not really seeing too much urgency there, but we do have some people trying to get out. I would imagine this may be sellers. People complain about like pulling and stacking and spoofing of orders. There's a lot of context that you need to have with what's going on in the situation. Look at all this volume right here. So you had buyers being ready to be filled here. They couldn't get filled. A lot of people are buying, but you also have some passive sellers up here. So I think this is really important. And the fact that they're passives and they're kind of hitting, this makes you think that there may be something to come soon. But we saw this last week as well, where these passive sellers were getting filled higher and higher and higher and higher and higher. So we just have a lot of demand, simply. But I digress. I wanted to make a quick note about the SOC so we can understand where we're at. Let's see. So, I mean, overall, if we had to take a quick I do want to take a quick look at the quote board because we're getting ready to head into the market open. But I really wanted to take some time and align ourselves with our overall objective of what we're doing. This is more important than just taking a effing trade. If you can get where I'm coming from, I'm pulling this up on my other screen here. Just taking a quick look to see where we're at. Everyone's bullish. You have tech leading. This would be a typical day where you would need to look to the buy side. If you have tech leading like this, I believe this is important. Anytime they're leading to the upside or the downside, I always want to favor them. This is just really nice across the board. Very nice from NVIDIA and Broadcom. Again, we go where NVIDIA goes. We go where tech goes. This is just nice. I'm not seeing any issues. And then we have VIX down about 4%. So we'll go ahead and get that out of the way right now. Again, we are building volume here. Let's see. So the quote board, not really too much. Data catalyst is going to be pretty light. It's already done. No specific headlines for us to be aware of. I will look for some downside pressure down here, maybe some two-way trading. We want to look at, is ES going to cradle inside this bottom, or we're just going to completely start breaking some of these levels? Because do remember, if we break this level, you may see some continuation to this little um, this basing down here. And if we break through this, that's extremely close to the lows. And this is somewhat of a trade that I would look for, that I do have. But the fact that the bulls have some distance from the 84s, which is the SOC low, to the overnight low, which is 67. That 27 points right there is a nice little distance given the low vol environment. And again, we really want to hamper our expectations because this is not last week. You can see it with the volume, you can see it with the range, you can see it with the urgency. This appears to be possibly small hands with hints of maybe OTF is present and lurking. We got about 50 seconds. And I'll go ahead and get this out of the way. You'll see the program refresh once we have started. I really want to have maybe like a stopwatch. Or can you do a timer that repeats itself? Yeah. If I can get a 1 minute to loop, that would be ideal so we can see. So as this start, we'll let this information kind of hit, and then I'm gonna get some more overview notes, mentally prepare ourselves. All right, all right, let's see. Just checking some audio settings here. So we're not getting bombed by the block sale. There shouldn't be a timer here, but I'll go ahead and mute this just in case. Still working on my setup, so just bear with me. Again, very mild here. We are still near those 40s, still near the high for NQ. I'd imagine we may have some kind of excursion above. But again, we don't want to rush ourselves. All right, I do want to see if this timer is just going to refresh. We can get a minute stacking. That would be ideal. No worries. And try once more, possibly with the stopwatch. And again, all this is still pretty mild. We haven't seen too much of an uptick in volume. I'm gonna go back to my questions soon. Just want to make sure that we have very nice orientation here. Said I was not speculating live yesterday. This is one downside. All right. It may be. All right. We should be good now. And then I'm gonna go ahead and hit that reset. So yeah, we're already 30 points above those 40s of that 840. All right, let's see. So we'll go ahead and finish our questions here. So if we have a price map, we'll go ahead and take a quick look at our market profile. We can see where we're at. We're busting through that thin air area, which makes sense that we can do this on lighter volume. This is no problem. But imagine if we have some kind of a pullback. from the highest part of this zone, it's the 54.18, and the low half side is this is the 35.75. So as of right now, we're at the top part of this range, the top quarter. I'd imagine if we have some sort of a pullback, we'll pull back to this same VPOC area, which at this point now, I'm going to go ahead and put this as a purple zone just to indicate the significance of it. We can have some sort of a pullback here. That would be extremely nice because, I mean, at most, this would be a 50-point pullback. It's definitely possible in one day, but they definitely need to hold this area. If not, just really maybe these 70s. So yeah, just we have a pullback and basically defend the overnight high, the overnight low rather. I think that'll be a very nice buying opportunity for a mean reversion with a potential play to target the highs. But given the bullishness that we're seeing now, that may not even be a possibility. Yeah, people getting stopped out. All right, I'm gonna hit this reset so we can see it in 5 minutes. All right, now we're starting to see our way back down. Amanda, could you close the door, please? Thank you. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and hit this. Oh, I probably gotta hit the play. So it's down. All right, no worries. We'll do it again. We'll do it again shortly. Hmm. All right, no problem. All right, so again, just going back to the ES, so we're looking at the 40, 54, 18 area and finding support basically near our overnight lows. It's fairly simple. We do the same process with the NQ. We're looking at the 890s and finding support at the bottom zone, which would be the 650s. So basically, our job is just to find some kind of support between overnight low and then some previous structure. Ideally, stay within this SOC zone, and we have a specific play that kind of sweeps this bottom area here. Maybe find some support on this actual close. Depending on how we're trading at the time, we may actually enter in the first bracket. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my tools ready. I'm gonna pull this up on another screen. Yeah, because we may find ourselves with an impulse down. Goodness gracious. I cannot get this off of the screen. All right, let me try this again. My apologies. Need to figure out. I'm not able to. Not able to detach this chart without that being sized like that. It's a little bit upsetting. Mm. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happened there. So I'm just trying to keep the focus on the dumb. If I can detach the chart, I think I'm just going to do this in a different way. So this is why I'm going to make sure I have this on trade and lock so I don't accidentally hit something. Go ahead and throw this on sim as well. It's not the best thing to do troubleshooting. There we go. In the middle of your session. Okay. For whatever reason, I just can't move it. It's locked for some reason. Alright, just need to fix one more thing. Let's do always on top. Window always visible. And then we'll do the same thing here. Yeah, for some reason I can't move this chart. Sorry, it's very concerning because I was just doing it the other day. But okay, no worries. We won't sweat that too much. The show goes on. Okay, yeah, we're not gonna sweat that. Okay, so let's get oriented so we can understand where we're at. Again, we're gonna keep this fairly simple. We need to kind of shake that off. Again, this would be very important for me to see as well when I go back to review to see how I handled that. Just making sure that I'm taking my deep breaths. We'll get oriented. So we're 11 minutes in. Let's see how we're moving for these particular products. This would be Microsoft, which may be the other way. Okay, so we can see how we're moving in this particular time that we step away. Okay, cool. So I have that above us. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this in queue as well. So yeah, we're getting ready to test. Man, this is really unfortunate. Really unfortunate. All right, we're pulling into this IB high zone. My apologies. Always on top, always visible. All right, that was a pullback to that IB high there. Given extremely how bullish we are, that definitely will make sense for us to find our way in that situation. Sorry, I'm trying to fix my. Okay, I can move now. I can move my MES, but I cannot move. Not the M and Q for some reason. You know what? This is. See. You have to move it from the itty bitty top. I see. All right. Let's do always visible one more time. Okay, that's that pullback from that SOC high, like we talked about. Nice. So in this situation, we see Tesla that's up 75%. 0.75. My apologies. So yeah, we're up 75%. We'll be up much higher. It's nice to see ES leading here in a situation that's industrials, finance, discretionary. And we have VIX rising just a little bit, 0.3%. So sorry, I had some technical difficulties there from a lack of understanding of on my side. And I'm still trying to fix the way this looks, so please bear with me. Yeah, I think this is better if I just do a new instance for Sierra chart. I just don't have that set up. So it's gonna be a little janky. It's a possibility that we're gonna have some errors. So we just want to mentally get ourselves okay with that. See what we can do to mitigate this as much. From what we understand, we are still trading inside of the at the top of that SOC zone there. We're gonna see if we can detach this long chart. Yeah, I'm actually just gonna cancel these DOMs. I just don't have these set up properly right now. I did. I don't know. It's just causing me a little discomfort right now, and I don't think that's gonna be. Look at the we have some passive buyers that's trying to bid this up on our way up. Sorry, I need to switch one more time. I need to make this always visible, right? And again, this is a big focus on the DOM, at least for these videos. So just bear with me if I seem a little bit scattered. This I'll figure out, but I'm primarily doing this for the DOM and just hearing the way that I'm processing this information. It's incredibly important for me. So I'm drawing these same zones on my other screen for the micro contracts. We're just doing a bit of a workaround, doing our best to stay calm, stay oriented, make sure we understand where we are. And to ensure that we're not confusing ourselves, not getting disoriented. So times where I would maybe not have the best performance, it would normally be in a situation like today where I had some kind of issues and I ended up just being derailed. Okay, so we have about 10 minutes. Let me step away for a quick minute, kind of shake off that these technical difficulties, and let me come back a bit fresh. I'm just getting my now trigger chart updated. All right, I'm gonna put this on a brief mute. I will be right back. All right. So we can see that we're pushing above, what is this, about the 20s now, 23. So that prior rejection is like the 26s. I will be interested to see how we respond here and possibly failing, but we'll need some sort of indicator. Would be interested in going a bit short here. This would be extreme counter to what we're seeing on the tape, which is buying for sure. But just given where we're at, but just given where we're at, I just want to see some sort of an indication first. I ideally do want a pullback to the. I'm looking for the pullback. Thank you. And if you can close the door, please. Thank you very much. My apologies. So we have another 30 seconds to finish this 3 minute candle. This is extremely bullish. We'll need to find ways to get long for sure. I do respect where we are on the higher time frame, and with NQ starting to poke their head out of their 920s area, hopefully testing the 1900, and with the ES heading towards that previous month's former support, which is right before the 30s. So yeah, I would need to see some sort of failure. I put an offer in for 41.50 for 54.17 half. So I'm in at 17 halves right now with the stop below the high. We'll see how we respond. Seeing if this is a potential rejection of that keyer zone given our balance. I'm just looking more for a pullback, possibly to that mid to see how we kind of respond there. Maybe with a test at the open. But if clearly the NQ is starting to hold in a bit more. Okay, so that's the little follow through that I was hoping to see. Not hoping to see. Let me take that back. But I'm trying to find the right words. And I'm on this other screen here. Again, it's a possibility that this may come back. We're in short there, but we'll manage this as we go. So we want to see how we're responding here. But as of right now, I will get in and then there's some follow through. I really wouldn't want to see this come back, especially given the balanced nature that we're at. We have some buyers down here that are trying to buy. Just looking at the structure that we're in, possibility that we may shoot through here and sit at the sevens, which you saw some people willing to buy. Again, do remember we're extremely bullish, and NQ is just now hitting their VWAP and then their mid. We're kind of going through our view, going through our mid area. Go ahead and put our VWAP. And again, we're not looking for too much here. I went ahead and just flattened it. It's a possibility that we may have some more, but again, this is just like straight counter, straight counter. I don't feel too comfortable here. Shorter those, I really don't have too much of a playbook for that particular situation, but just understanding the context that we're at. Even though I did say earlier that I wanted to specifically focus on just doing our playbook trades, this just made sense. And I feel like if the market is telling me one thing, then I have to act. Though I need to do it with lowered expectations. So again, I'm still looking for a potential place to buy. You have the ES almost tested that SOC high, but just couldn't hit it there. So we'll see how we continue to respond. It's interesting to see how we kind of go up and it gets shot back down, and then there's no fight back up. We just kind of just sit there, like, okay, now what? If I was in the mindset of potentially re-entering short, that would be a decent place there, but you have this low volume zone here, so maybe we may hit our head on these 19s, which I honestly forgot where I entered. I think it was a 17 half. So it was about right here. It was on our way down. So you enter, zoom down, and that's where we ended up taking our take profit about here. Again, that was just a scalp play. or I guess like cash flow. You have more thinner structure here. Again, we're still not. This is, this is not a heavy tape. This wouldn't be like a -8 or a -9 or anything on the scale. This is, the buyers are actually. Let me pull up the reference that I'm referring to, and we're 2 minutes from the halfway point, as an FYI. So hopefully I'm not being too scattered here, making sure that I'm keeping some consistent thoughts. I'm gonna go ahead and lock my trading station right now. All right, sorry, I had to fix something there. And NQ is pushing their highs. Very nice response from them. Again, their ES and NQ appear to be doing that little dance where I'm a little weaker. No, I'm a little weaker. No, I'm stronger. No, I'm a little stronger. And it's just like a flip flopping type of behavior. It's hard for me to tell like who's the weaker or the shorter. I think it's just really important for you to figure out like who do you want to. If you're gonna go short, I really can't imagine going short on NQ right now with Tech leading us from hell. I do appreciate that the NQ is testing their specific level here, and I'll do a better job of making sure that we understand where we're at. The footprint is just kind of sitting here useless, to be honest. It would be a little better for me to go to this chart book where we can see our 130-minute, our 138. But yeah, I don't have these aligned properly. But yeah, these are our 138. Like yeah, I'm I definitely had some initial follow through, which is nice and all. But again, I want it to be somewhat realistic. I've learned that from balanced trader. It's okay for you to take these counter trend scalps, but you just need to definitely have a plan. Get in at your level. Take a shot. Kind of get in and just kind of focus on the next play. So it would be nice to kind of stay in and everything. We still haven't broke through those highs for ES, so we wouldn't have been stopped out. However, I don't feel comfortable in the current environment that we're in holding a short. So I'm just putting this footprint on the 15 minute. We have our vol VIX down there, and then we have ES and then Q. We'll go ahead and save this here. So this is just a reminder. This is what we're trying to short. Looking for potential ways to buy would be pretty important. All right, we're not gonna leave this screen up. I think I need to put those 138 candles here, but I really like having this here just so we can see just the delta, the volume, and then just relatively, kind of what's going on. I'm hiding this delta on the side. There's more of that continuation. Again, you have time to get in for that continuation. You got some buyers that's hoping to get filled here. You can get in right here, where you got out last time. But again, given our situation, I'll pass. We are seeing some look aboves and fails from the NQ, which is somewhat of a nice sign. I feel like I'm being disrespectful to the market right now because they're telling me one thing and I'm not going. Uh, I'm not going with the information that they're telling me. I'm looking for what I'm looking for, and that's the focus of where we're at for today. Especially, I don't want to look for opportunities to short in my buy zones because I could be getting ready to possibly size up, change the way that I do my approach, or something of that nature. So I was looking for a sorry, I was looking at possibly changing one of my orders, my order types, the stop type rather. All right, we'll go ahead and take a quick look. Let's see if we do it this way. Let's do again. So this is our chart here that we have for order flow. It's something that we got from S&B. I think they put the video on private, but we started the video. We started our RTH somewhere between I'll say +8 strong buying. Bidders not really letting it drop, chasing it up, but absorbing, not chasing it up, but absorbing and willing to step up. They would chase it up a little bit and then just somewhat stop. I wouldn't. Yeah, 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 yeah. +8. I'm sorry. Yeah, yeah. Not really letting it drop. Yeah, strong buying bidders really letting it drop, not chasing it up, but absorbing. Yeah. So actually, I mean, I think that'd be somewhat of a +9, but I feel like it's a bit hampered because of the lower volume. So I'll say as of right now, we'll say buyers are there. We're starting to see more of a balance with sellers being able to catch the buyers off sides a bit, but I believe we're still on a +6. I haven't seen anything that's showing us in this negative territory. No huge persistent sellers. We do have some that are kind of creeping up here, but again, these are passives. These are people just sitting on the sidelines. You have that same balance in behavior on the bids, but now we're starting to leak down below those 12s, 11s, the 10s. Once we hit through this area, we should like vacuum through here. And then what do we see there? I want to see what's going to be our response. As we can see, ES is a bit weaker. We're testing the top of that SOC zone, which again, so we're going to see this low volume node here, while NQ is at their highs. So there's no reason to short NQ. If anything, if ES finds some support, this would be like a correlation type of play where you would long the NQ. This would be a relative strength, more of like a correlation kind of scout. Like we have these sellers here about 450 trying to push it down, trying to push it through this level here. We're not really seeing much. If we do slip through here, imagine we do fall. First line of defense is going to be VWAP for the NQ, which is going to be the 75s, or we're going to have our midpoint, which is at 65. So we fell through that zone here. I'd imagine we're going to build volume a little bit, and then we have this ceiling, this overhead volume point of control above us. Poked our head through for NQ. Could not touch that July support area, which should have been like some lows, possibly like a few highs as well. You can go ahead and take a quick peek at this. Remember, this is something that I did recently. So yeah, this really should have been July as well. So yeah, that multi-touch area. So that's more on the high side of that zone where those July lows were. So this is what I'm talking about. This is that support that we came off this bottom from the '07s. And if we're able to have some support here, this would definitely be nice for the NQ. If we wanted to get specific and see exactly what's going on here, we can go ahead and go to our quote board. and we can see who's leading, who's following. Feel free to pause it. I'm going to go ahead and switch these here. 2% on Tesla, almost 2% on Nvidia. Apple's holding pretty well, up 0.3 for NQ versus ES. So we're going to do our timestamp at 7:08 and kind of see how we're doing for our B bracket. So we're finding some support for ES, but for whatever reason, NQ is having some troubles here at the highs now. This holding well may be a situation where we completely obliterate to the upside and break through the ceiling, or and it's possible. There we go. There's a nice little push from here. I would imagine you may see, yeah, there we go. And if they can't break here, or if they break through here and peak above and fail again, this is really bad. This is going to be really bad. We're going to have a lot of trapped buyers. You can even see our delta up here. It would be nice to see like a little rug pull. But if we have a little rug pull again, this is like an area that I'm looking to potentially buy. Not short into, because that'll have me a little bias, and I'm not going to sit here and try to reverse the trade. So we definitely got some sellers stepping in a little bit, about 1,000 down on the cumulative delta. We got buyers on the NQ really trying. We're starting to fall through this area again. Starting to break through some. We got some gaps here. So we really just want to sit patient. Take a quick look at the ES. Ideally, I would like to see how we're trading at this overnight. My apologies. The overnight high, which is the SOC high as well. Possibly go back to these close or this consolidated area, or just even this open, where a lot of this little consolidated range, this coiling area after the SOC. Same situation for the NQ, except there's a little higher. If we can actually come back and touch our overnight high, which was basically the last candle before RTH, that'd be a nice potential spot. That'd be well below their IB mid, but well above their open, which is extremely close to their low. It's indicative of an open drive behavior. So definitely would like to long here from the open to the low. That's about 6 points. So if we can get anywhere from the 845s to the 815s, that'd be interesting for sure. So our job is to be a little patient now. As of right now, we have open drive on both indices and a nice close of the A bracket. One bar up, one bar down, one bar up, one bar down, 4 bars up to finish. Very nice, very nice close. And then a red bar, and then a final green bar at the end to close this A bracket. To start the B bracket, we're starting to drift down, lower highs, lower lows on the ES, and we're just coiling to the right for NQ. If ES can find some support, that would be extremely helpful for tech. And again, we can look at the details on what's happening. We're seeing utilities, industrials, discretionary, staples, communication starting to step up, while SLK takes a little break, as they should. Find XLF needs to provide some assistance as well. VPOC is getting lower on the ES. Again, this wouldn't be a bad opportunity to buy near this overnight high, SOC high for the ES. However, just given the context of where we're at, knowing our price map, I would like to see a little bit more of a pullback into this zone, see how we respond, possibly doji out, maybe have a nice impulse upwards, and then trade it back down a little bit, possibly enter on something like that where it's indecision and people are thinking that we're going to go lower, possibly enter on a close. I'll be looking for some kind of continuation upwards on the next candle or so. However, this would be more of a structured trade, so wherever our stop is, that's just where it's at. We have a look above and potential fail. We have 1 more minute to end this 15-minute candle. If this does finish red and more bearish, I'll be open to possibly going short one more time, maybe even on the NQ, possibly. Got a group of sellers right here. All right, that's the 15-minute. It's the end there. And again, we're still above our 5 smoothing average for the NQ. So I mean, it's fairly decent. Hold on, let me put this on mute. I'm sorry, it's a fire truck that passed. All right, wasn't that bad. Yeah, I wanna see how we're trading. If we trade a little lower, I want to see what that looks like. And that may be some advertising for some prices I'll be interested to buy. And then just a reminder, so we're managing our expectations. Do remember that we've been in this great wall of balance. So for us to cut through this area to the short side, we're gonna have to drop from the 54 tens to the about 50 points and get below these 60s, which is another zone. So this is rough. This is definitely a some energy that's going to need to be exuded from the sellers. We're gonna need to like step it up a little bit, or buyers are gonna completely have to step away with bids and maybe just let it drop. But this is a lot of it's a lot of effort that's going to be needed from the sellers. And again, you primarily focus on the DOM. I have my trigger charts on another screen that I'm looking at. We're headed into the open for ES, and we are getting ready to test this VWAP area for NQ. Things are getting a little quiet. Let's go ahead and turn on price squawk for the NQ. Let's see what happens. And again, this is the NQ. We should see some activity happening a little bit. We have some buyers down here waiting. This is that VWAP test. Looks like we broke through for a little bit, went back up. That was the end of that 3-minute candle. So we have another 4 candles. to end this in this bracket. Okay, we're getting ready to get into this is that open test. Almost mid for NQ. Again, we did test that open on the micro, that is, but not the actual full contract for ES. Yeah, we touched the open for the micro, which is not unexpected. Taking a quick look at a note card that I have here just to kind of help me stay oriented. Again, our bigger picture, we have the bulls on the macro, bears on the intermediate. We have the bulls on the overnight and the short term. And if we're looking at it from the point of the SOC, this would be bullish with a bullish drift upwards, trading above, headed towards some key areas on the volume profile. Appears we're finding a little bit of resistance still on lighter volume, nothing crazy on the DOM. Yeah, we have another minute to finish this one 3 minute candle. We have these passive players really starting to step in here. It's probably going to be a controlled move, I would imagine, to either side. Okay, it's going to be that little pullback area that I was talking about, a little up thrust, and then a bit of a pullback. See how they act at this VWAP. All right, it's been that minute. So I did get long at the 96, debating if I'm gonna get out. We're having troubles getting it back above this VPOC. I have to stop below like the 70s. Yeah, I really don't want to see a new low. A new low of this candle would be the 78 area. So getting back below VWAP again. Another 15 seconds to end this 3-minute candle. Three seconds. Still struggling at this 900 area. ES is trying, but they're still not really having much progress down there. This is a bit worrisome. All this little gyrating around this 900 price isn't doing anything for me. However, we're trying to stay on. It's going to be the end of this 5-minute candle. Another about 5 seconds now. So I ended up getting out for a 3-point loss. I know I got in. I'm probably gonna beat myself up for this, but this just the tape. It just doesn't look right. It doesn't feel right. Yeah, not the best. I mean, technically I got in. We're making higher highs and some higher lows, but I don't know. But I'm flat. Because this feels like the times where I will be long and we just can't get over a damn price, and then we end up like liquidating lower. But again, I made my thoughts earlier. Well, this is a very nice area for this ES to the short side. My only issue is just NQ, just how strong it's been. See if we can take a quick look at the cold board, but I feel like it's like 50-50 at this point. It's the last 3-minute bar of the bracket. I'm not really seeing any order flow events happening. I'm really on the fence about going short right now. All right, we got some buyers that's trying. Just some volume right here. But that's something that holds. Just want to see how we finish this B bracket. Definitely open auction on here. Nice little sell in on the NQ. Nice little sell wave. Buyers held it. They're starting to notice that a little bit. They pushed upwards and now we're back down, starting to build some volume. Man, I really want to sell. But I'm not really picking up what the market is telling me. But I feel like we're stalling. I'm not going to do it, and that's fine. We got 20 seconds to end this bracket, which has been straight sideways for NQ and a lowered skew sideways for ES. About 5 seconds now. And again, I am flat. I got short at 91.5, but I'm not really feeling comfortable with this one. I'm really not trying to see this come back. It's 91s. Another 15 seconds for this 1 minute. You see these people getting stopped out. All right, I jumped out. So again, this was just a scalp, just to relieve some pressure. The fact that it went my way, I probably should have stayed in it, stayed into it. But again, this is more information. I was trying to flatten. I didn't have any positions. It was going my way from the beginning, but it's not about my way. My information still stands on the mixed posture right now. But that little sell was just a little stop run. We're gonna go ahead and clear out this delta.
Block center.
That's more of that continuation there. We're at this midpoint and the open for ES. I wouldn't look to buy at this moment. This is not the same situation that we were looking at earlier. I would need to see like another impulse properly. Probably, rather. Looks like ES is defending that low. NQ really just needs to defend their mid. ES is defending their open. I'm not sure if I said open or low. I think I said low. Got some volume building up. Sellers are trying to hold it down. We got some sellers that are trying to hit the bid. There we go. That's a little stop run, a little flicker up there. I would imagine we may have some more continuation to the upside, but it's just sustained. We got the end of this 3 minute candle in 12 seconds. We're getting ready. Remember, we're still inside this SOC zone. Oh no. Trade evade. All right, we're back. So at most we lose our bid and offer column. Looks like we broke through the open and we're starting to pierce through this mid area. Getting ready to test the close of this SOC candle. Hopefully, we're finding the full session VWAP on ES. Look like we're possibly finding some support. This is only 1 minute. For ES, this is actually a. Did they pierce it? I can't tell if they pierced it or not. I don't think they did. Very nice showing. Again, that's one of the, not necessarily order flow event, but I do want to see some sort of event happening to kind of renew my interest to buying. Again, this is just the start. This is the middle of that 3 minute candle, so I want to see if we have that excursion upwards and then that hold, like I mentioned, and then we need to see if we can test the downside a little bit. Then I will look for my entry there. I didn't miss it. I forgot what I was doing. Oh, the platform kind of froze up on me. But yeah, that's basically what we were looking for. I just can't confirm what happened on the order book. That is very unfortunate. So I want to see, are we going to continue upwards or are we going to potentially pull back? Because we definitely have some gaps here. You can see this jagged profile going on right here. And this is the reason that we didn't stay in that NQ short. Didn't want to strong the leader for too long, not overstay our welcome. Then this is possibly that pullback. And people think we're going to get more because it's a lower low and a lower high, which definitely is valid. It's the last second here. Want to see if we have more continuation. I'm not too eager to buy at the moment. I'll still want to see some tests to the downside. Maybe test that open again. Maybe test the mid. Just kind of want to see how we go. If not, this just may just be a situation where I miss it. The technical issues earlier today, and then a technical issue that I just had there. I really can't afford it regarding my mental capital. MQ leading us a little bit to the downside here. Going to go ahead and check. Nvidia's catching their breath. Eli Lilly selling off a little bit. Okay. That was a little bit of that pullback that I was talking about. Again, missed it. You really got to be on your you really got to be on and focus because you only have like a couple split seconds. But that's a little bit of pullback that I was talking about, and they're able to hold it. Yeah, and honestly, I missed this. Or if we just start taking off to the highs, I think I think this just may be it, man. It's also a potential short here for the ES because they are not trading above this. They're getting rejected. This is going to be something that you look at and be like, man, this was an open rejection. They couldn't stay above these DGPs, and these fools are still struggling here. I'm not shorting them though. However, this is going to be a crowded trade. I'll be interested in maybe going short if we have a stop run. And a stop run would consist of a look above and a fail. It would have to be somewhat aggressive. I would need to see this on the DOM to quote unquote confirm what happened. This is even a little mini look above and fail. A little stop run for these shorts that would have stopped me out. People that had their shorts at break even. A failure of this prior IB high. We got another 35 seconds rather. Another 35 seconds to the end of this candle. That's also another pullback if you want to possibly kind of get long. I'm not seeing anything too aggressive on the sell side that's showing me nice defense from the buyers. I'm not seeing anything too aggressive on the buying side or weaker sellers looking to trade at higher prices. I mean, this has kind of been a thing. We do have this thinner structure up here. So it's a possibility if we can blow past this VPOC area, blow past this VPOC area and push above, or do we fall below because we don't have enough energy? Again, this is more of like two-way trading for the most part. Very much somewhat wishy-washy. I would imagine the somewhere between -6 and +6, which is still wishy-washy. But from a structural standpoint, I would give this to the buyers. We recaptured this 5S. We're still getting rejected from this mid VPOC, and we're closing above this 5S area for the ES. I'm a little disappointed with the technical issues today and missing this C bracket open and something that I was waiting for. Only reason that I'm not revenge trading right now because I just understand that this is my setup. The setup was here, and I was looking for it, and that was good repetition overall. And I'll look back to this. ES is starting to lead us out of here, but they have to actually like sustain it. But my point is, just focus on my plays that I'm looking for, my process. Taking 3 trades today. I'm up a little over 5 points on the MES and 10 points on the MNQ. I had one small loss on the NQ. I ended up getting out. That same sell impulse candle I bought, I believe, a few candles before. So I ended up getting out a little earlier on. Okay, it looks like NQ is trying to push up out of here again. ES, if ES can lead us, then that'll definitely be nice on the NQ side, who's just been coiling. They may not look as strong. From a quick glance, you would say ES is breaking out, and this is a cheaper place to buy. Oh my goodness, this is a really good realization for me. ES does look a bit cheaper because you can see they're getting ready to break out, and this has been the relatively low price. You've been paying $10, $9, $8, and now it's about 7. Looks like it's going to 7.25. It's about to go up. But I mean, this is just a pattern. I mean, this is just kind of what it looks like, and that's fine. You can say this is like a little higher highs here, but really it's be like lower lows. I mean, you're channeling since you got rejected from above here, and you can do nothing but look above and fail, which is really indicative of the balance action that we've seen as a whole. So it's really nothing too fancy here. It's possible that we have a rug pullback, but I don't think that's really safe betting, or a lower probability would be the better term. Go ahead and put our account on lock so we don't accidentally do a trade here. A lot of two-way trading here, a lot of two-way trading here. You can easily get caught diddling in the middle. Don't diddle in the middle. Don't shorten the hole. We have some buyers right here that are definitely trying. So we have some sellers. Buyers may have some sort of exhaustion. So this is a possible like order flow event that I'm referring to. But the fact that they're starting to break out on the ES, just a little bit of correlation and relative price action will have me sit on my hands to the sell side. I would imagine we may have like a little burst out of here. But given the crowded nature of this, you're still in this middle point, and I don't believe in trading in that. Again, I am honestly losing a bit of an interest in this day, given the way we started and still the low volume. All right, we got some more coiling going on here. A nice little breakthrough. Be possible for you to long here. You would think that you may fill in some of these little gaps, but they may not have that opportunity to pull back any. Is this little impulse through going to sustain on the ES? This would be the time for you to buy. That's going to be the case. That was the end. This is the start of this 3 minute candle, so you only have so much information as of right now. We're still right below this key zone above us. There you go. So you're entering. That would be that little burst you would like to see. Possibility that this is not going to get filled. If you want to see some strength from these from this NQ buyers, that was only half of that. Still a little bit of those fours that need to go. Yeah, this is I don't know. I feel like this is just a rejection here. This IB high. Again, it's the first 30 minutes for me for the initial balance. So instead of saying do I want to take a short or not, do I have this in my playbook of shorting in a coil zone? I don't believe I do. That was me looking at my scorecard. But yeah, just a reminder: higher time frame bullish, intermediate, the intermediate rather is bearish. Shorter time frame is bullish. Overnight is bullish. First bracket is bullish. Second bracket is coiling, and we're still within today's RTH. And so far, this is a more bullish response to the C bracket. So all signs will lean more to the bullish side. And if we're looking at the shortest of all time frames, I can't really say too much here. This is that lethargic action that I speak of. I'm not a big fan of these. We're below those 04s. We're breaking those little structure areas, one more below it. You may possibly have a bounce here off this VPOC area, given our low effort, and we're making slow drifting, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. There's a possibility that this continues with the impulse out, which may be the case, especially with ES breaking out. This will be the time. That little small, little quick pullback was my opportunity. Now you're seeing some buyers trying to bid this up and trying to protect it. Or these could be shorts trying to get out just in case. They just disappeared, but they were there. Yeah, and then they came back. We have people waiting to buy. People said fuck it and just sprayed out, and then there were some stops as well. This is that potential look above and fail. Just really gaze, look at the velocity. We have some sellers up here, of course. Are they going to get filled? That was a little thrust down. Some people said F it and they got out. Again, we're just past that 15-minute mark. 1 minute on this other side, getting ready to finish this second minute. 2 seconds. There's some people liquidating right there. Yeah, yeah, that was my opportunity to buy. That would have been at the O2s. So yeah, we'll be up like 30 points right about now, but that's particularly fine. And you can notice this with this sell-off from ES. And then they were starting to lead us out. Very subtle and sneakily. However, we don't get paid to know stuff, to intellectualize these things. We get paid to execute and take some trades off of it. I have no interest in shorting this now as we are continuing to break through. However, ES is still within their range. So if we are too short, it would be potentially on the ES with the NQ kind of breaking out. And if we want to see exactly why they're breaking out, we're having a big surge from NVIDIA has recovered. Tesla is still thumping, Broadcom, but we're about even for ES and NQ overall. And we noticed that because we were compressed and just now breaking out versus coming from the open, which we were eyeballing and we missed and shooting up. Again, this is why I was a little upset with this because this was a 2 point risk, and this is up. So you'll be up at least like maybe 16 points. So I mean, so you're looking at least a 5 to 1, maybe a 6 to 1, depending on exactly when you got in and how you sized it or your target. But that's part of it. I understand what I was trying to do. My job is to minimize any kind of technical issues. So yeah, as of right now, I'm out. I don't imagine it's pulling back. I have no reason to want to trade this again. If we do reverse to hell right now and go to the open, I'm not buying. If we break the low, I'm not buying it. If we come back to the IB mid, at this point, we're looking at potential balance. Then I will be going long in the middle. And then with NQ, I would imagine you could probably find a decent trade if we break out with a few more candles and then pull back to this IB high or where this cluster is forming. So I mean, as of right now, yeah, I really don't see anything. So I'm not gonna sit here and try to act like something is happening and it's not. Even price squawk is a bit dead right now, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put myself on a quick mute. Typically, when I would step away and come back, maybe I can come back with it with fresh eyes and maybe some opportunities may display in front of myself. But that aligns with our playbook. Let me make sure I add that in there.
Block by.
But yeah, I'm a little disappointed with the tech issues and not getting in with the continuation from the higher highs and the higher lows. But I'm gonna go ahead and kind of talk to myself here on the side. I'll be right back. Actually, I won't be right back. Depending on what goes on, because again, I'm not shorting this. So yeah, I'll be back.
Block by. Block by. Block by. Block by.
All right, look like we're finally breaking through. Again, towards the top of this zone is where we have those lows from July. So we're about like 6 points away from those. So as we get more into this zone, I think that's somewhat key. Again, we have these sellers, passive sellers still here, which they're not aggressive. May possibly have a little pullback from here, but no, you got the buyers that are here as well. So two passive players, real subtle. That's a lot of activity going on right there. Nothing else on the passives worth noting. It's the end of that 3 minute bar there.
Block sell.
Still got buyers. You got somebody testing. Definitely some passive buyers here. Yeah, I don't want any part of this. I'm gonna go back on mute. I'm doing my journal.
Block sell.
This is the somewhat of the reaction that I was hoping to see a little earlier as we're getting a little higher into that zone. This is definitely a for sure important zone. Just want to see if we actually stay below this 5S or if we're going to use it as support. We still have another minute and 20 seconds.
Block by. Block cell.
Okay.
You like me?
Block by. Block by. Block by. Block by. block by, block by,